नमस्कार। विज्ञान की रोशनी चारों तरफ फैलाने वाले इस शो में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं नेहा त्रिपाठी। क्या इतिहास में नष्ट हो चुके किसी शहर को तकनीक की मदद से डिजिटल जिंदगी दी जा सकती है? आपने इस बारे में कभी सोचा नहीं होगा, लेकिन ये काम हमारे अपने देश में हो रहा है। आज हम बात करने वाले हैं तमिलनाडु के एक तटीय शहर पूम्पुहार के डिजिटल रिक्रिएशन यानी डिजिटल पुनर्निर्माण की। एक पुराना शहर जो आज है ही नहीं, जो शताब्दियों पहले डूब चुका है, जिसकी कोई निशानी या कोई आधार भी शायद नहीं है, उसे डिजिटल तकनीक की मदद से रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करना अपने आप में अचंभित करता है। जिस शहर की हम बात कर रहे हैं, तमिल साहित्य की रचनाओं में उसके बारे में बताया गया है। दक्षिणी तमिलनाडु में स्थित मौजूदा पूम्पुहार शहर से 30 किलोमीटर की दूरी पर एक और शहर था, जो समुद्र के बढ़े हुए जल स्तर की वजह से डूब गया था। इस प्राचीन शहर को डिजिटल जीवन देने के लिए 13 शिक्षाविदों और अनुसंधान संस्थानों का एक नेटवर्क स्थापित किया गया है। इस पूरी एक्सरसाइज को आप एक तरह से डिजिटल पुनर्जन्म भी कह सकते हैं। ये काम कैसे होगा, हमें बताएंगे स्टूडियो में हमारे साथ मौजूद डॉक्टर के.आर. मुरली मोहन। आप डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी में इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी साइबर फिजिकल सिस्टम्स के प्रमुख हैं। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर।
नमस्कार।
पूम्पुहार पोर्ट सिटी के डिजिटल रिक्रिएशन की बात करने वाले हैं आज हम। तो सबसे पहले मैं आपसे ये समझना चाहूंगी कि ये डिजिटल रिक्रिएशन क्या होता है?
Very good question. See, India is known for a lot of long history, heritage, and social systems. And these are all running for the last centuries and thousands of years. Now, the time has come to connect the entire the social heritage into the masses and public.
Okay.
The best medium is the digital space. So what we try to do is the entire ecosystem of the heritage and related aspects we try to convert into digital space.
Okay.
And then bring it the advanced technologies to connect the masses. So fundamentally, if you look at the digital heritage project which we have started in DST, it is the convergence of technology with the heritage. Till now, that type of experimentation was not carried out. The first time DST was able to do it. So that is the fundamental principle on which it was created.
Digital recreation sounds very interesting, sir. But why digitizing a whole city? मतलब एक पूरे शहर को जो इस वक्त है ही नहीं, इस दुनिया में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, उसको आप डिजिटाइज करेंगे कैसे?
So fundamentally, if you look at the technologies, which can enable us, they capture the data. For example, what we have done in IDH, Indian Digital Heritage Project, we concentrate on a site called Hampi. That is open type of an area where we are able to capture the technology used is, what do you call it as, digital laser scanning.
Okay, laser scanning.
Laser scanning, or we call it as terrestrial laser scanning. So using that, what happens is we can capture any monuments, the complete, the structures, and then what we call it as point cloud data is generated. From the point cloud data, what we are doing it is rendering करके उसको CAD diagram में convert कर सकते हैं. That means to the measurements we can get it from the non-invasive technology called terrestrial laser scanning. Once you get the what you call CAD diagrams, then we apply what you call sthapatis and as well as agama shastras. For example, if it is related to a temple, then we bring those rules and reconstruct what are the places where it was dilapidated. Because most of the monuments are what you call it went into a series of dilapidations or destructions. So some portions are available, some portion is not available. What we do, the portions which are missing, we digitally reconstruct them.
Okay.
So therefore, to bring those knowledge, this is the traditional knowledge we call it as. So those things are available with our, the local artisans as well as Sthapati we call it as.
Yes. बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है, मुश्किल भी लग रहा है साथ में सुनने में भी कि एक ऐसी जगह को आप डिजिटली कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन पर क्रिएट करने की कोशिश करेंगे, इसकी ज़रूरत क्या है?
This is another very interesting question. See, first of all, a lot of changes are happening in the geologically, socially, and as well as we have to reconnect our old the traditions.
Okay.
For that, digital documentation is very essential.
बिल्कुल.
Okay. So if you look at for example on Hampi, 1857 furloughs bromide pictures if you see, and today you see the same monument today, almost 20% there is a destruction. 1857 to 2020, there is a 20% destruction. Maybe down the lane, we don't know, the monuments may not be there. Therefore, digital documentation is very important, number one. And number two is, once we have the digital documentation, complete, the CAD diagrams will be available. And then we are planning to go what you call digital reconstruction.
Okay.
So digital reconstruction is a research issue.
Digital reconstruction is research issue.
Research issue, because so many knowledge has to come together. Researchers, students, historians, artists, they have to come together, work on what you call on those monuments.
So
physically they will not be able to do it.
Okay.
Whereas if you have the replica in the digital space, they can do a lot of experimentation.
Yes, and for doing this you have a team of experts
Team
from
of
various institutes and universities. Like
yes.
Yes.
We have brought almost 30 institutes together. They are computer engineers, image processing specialist, vision specialist, haptic rendering. These are the technologies that got into this.
Okay.
Also we brought in the artist, the historian, the sthapatis, the agama experts. These are all different types of the disciplines, which each one will not be able to talk to each other. But we created a platform where they were able to come and sit and discuss and create these type of monuments in a digital space.
जितना भी पुम्पुहार के बारे में पढ़ा, इसमें लिटरेचर, हिस्ट्री और आर्कियोलॉजी का पर्सपेक्टिव मुझे ज्यादा दिखा. तो इसमें साइंस कैसे एंटर हुआ? ये कैसे आइडिया आया कि पुम्पुहार को करना चाहिए?
द पुम्पुहार का जो इशू है, ये वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स. नंबर वन, इट इज अंडर द वाटर, एंड द हिस्ट्री is almost going almost 12 to 13,000 years back also. And it is not the one place where Pumbuhar was there. It is the series of cities that was there, and over the period, different times.
Okay.
So once you have those type of, intangible type of references available to those, cities, and then, it is digitally reconstructing them is a big challenge.
It is a big
so
task.
30 years back we will not be able to think of those type of activities. Now the technology has advanced so much. Either you take optical based or you take the sound based, that type of sensors are available. There are what you call remotely operated vehicles with unmanned vehicles, which can go deep into the water, collect the data, and we can do some.
We'll talk about all these technologies. वक्त हो गया एक छोटे से ब्रेक का. ब्रेक के बाद आपको प्रोजेक्ट डिजिटल पुम्पुहार के साइंटिफिक एस्पेक्ट्स के बारे में डिटेल में बताएंगे, और इसमें हमारी मदद करेंगे प्रोजेक्ट डिजिटल पुम्पुहार के नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर प्रोफेसर SM रामासामी, जो तमिलनाडु के तिरुचिरापल्ली से हमें ढेर सारी जानकारियां देंगे. एक ब्रेक के बाद.
इंडिया साइंस एक इंटरनेट आधारित विज्ञान वेब चैनल है. ये चैनल भारत सरकार के विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग द्वारा शुरू किया गया है, जिसका कार्यान्वयन और प्रबंधन विज्ञान प्रसार कर रहा है. इंडिया साइंस www.indiascience.in URL पर उपलब्ध है. इस द्विभाषीय चैनल की विषय वस्तु हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में उपलब्ध है. इस चैनल को इंटरनेट की सुविधा वाले किसी भी उपकरण पर देखा जा सकता है. ये वीडियो प्लेटफॉर्म विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी के ज्ञान के प्रसार हेतु समर्पित है. विशेषकर भारतीय दृष्टिकोण, लोकाचार और सांस्कृतिक संदर्भ में वैज्ञानिक जागरूकता फैलाने के लिए दृढ़ प्रतिबद्ध है. ये पहल विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग द्वारा समर्थित है. इंडिया साइंस मोबाइल ऐप्स को गूगल प्ले स्टोर और एप्पल स्टोर से डाउनलोड किया जा सकता है.
ब्रेक के बाद आपका स्वागत है। हम बात कर रहे हैं पूम्पुहार के डिजिटल रिक्रिएशन की। हमने इस प्रोजेक्ट के नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर प्रोफेसर एस.एम. रामासामी के इनपुट्स की मदद से एक रिपोर्ट तैयार की है। इसे देखकर आप समझ जाएंगे कि खोए हुए शहर को नया रूप कैसे मिलता है।
Broad objectives have been framed for this project. Number one is the exact location where it was initially established in the ocean. How it has grown. What was the time series evolution? Time series evolution in terms of urban sprawl, architecture, buildings, social systems, culture, intercontinental trade, and other related things. Such a towering city which has conquered very far-flung areas around the Southeast Asian region and also this side the Gulf countries, up to Arabian countries, how it has become suddenly vanished from the maritime history of the world. What was the reason for this? Whether it is due to earthquake or floods or Kaveri is defunct or tsunami or any other things. Digital reconstruction will be generally it will be a sort of an animation what we believe, what we envisage at this stage, that somebody is clicking with a particular year, let's say 20,000 years, a small feature will appear in the deep ocean. Then when he just moves to the next year, 1900 years or whatever years, then the next how the structure is growing, how the structure is rather broadening, and how this Pumbuar city is gradually getting shifted, and what has triggered it to shift. If it is cyclone, the cyclone will be visualized in that. If it is tsunami, the tsunami will be visualized in that. If it is tectonic subsidence, the earthquake and tectonic subsidence will be visualized. If it is sea level rise and the engulfing will be visualized. These things will automatically come in a visualization model and anchor it in one place at near Pumbuar. Near present Pumbuar, if you click, then from 2000 years to present years, how right from the trade to culture to the architectural designs, everything, gradually it has grown, that will be displayed. This is a sort of a computer, from computer animation, the reconstruction will be done. There is a big question is that whether the present location is the actual location or it was established elsewhere inside the ocean and later on shifted. If it has been shifted, in what phases it has been shifted and time frame it has been shifted. After being brought to this present location around 2000 years ago, how it has evolved during these 1000 years, from 2000 years to 1000 years. It has been planned to now concurrently work on the seaward side as well as on the landward side. In the landward side, mostly we will work with the IRS data and the GeoEye data, bring out the paleo backwaters, paleo creeks, paleo mud banks, paleo river courses and other things, where we will search for the evidences for any old wharf or boat houses where the boats were anchored, and whether any evidences are there for the remnants of the Pumbuar much inside the land portion. As well as the sea is concerned, we have envisaged to use the GEPCO data, that is general bathymetric chart of the oceans, to bring out the macro framework of the underwater area up to a distance of about 30 to 35 kilometers from the present coast. Then the single beam echo sounder data, multi-beam echo sounder data, and we will generate the digital elevation models and bring out the broad network or broad layout of the Pumbuar city. The program will concentrate more on the reason why, how and when the city would have become defunct. Whether it is due to tectonic movements on the land subsidence, or the sea level rise and gradual engulfing of the land, or the migration of the Kaveri river, or the paleo flood history, the flood cycle, flood that has taken place from 20,000 years to present day, at least up to 1,000 years. Then the paleo tsunami, then paleo cyclones and other things. All these things will be assembled sequentially, then finally we will bring out the picture on the Poombuhar. Initially, we are now using the JEPCO data, that the general bathymetric chart of the oceans, which gives the ocean floor. Then the single beam echo sounder data, the multi-beam echo sounder data, which will give a very fine resolution topography variation of the sea floor up to 5 meter contour interval level. Then we will go for a sub-bottom profiler in areas of doubt. That is also echo sounder based. Then again, from that we will use ROVs, that remotely operated vehicles, to collect the sonar images as well as optical images. This will be processed. From the processing, we will try to find out the structures. Global warming is a very recent phenomenon. By the time much global warming has started impinging its impact, the Poombuhar itself has become defunct. So we are keeping our eyes open on that. We are not discreetly able to say whether global warming would contribute or not. But definitely the sea level changes have contributed, and in which we will have to study how far it will.
मुझे विश्वास है कि आपके मन में उठ रहे ज़्यादातर सवालों का जवाब आपको मिल गया होगा, लेकिन मेरे पास कुछ और सवाल हैं, और ये सवाल जुड़ा है ग्लोबल वार्मिंग से। हम कह रहे हैं कि पुम्पुहार शहर डूब गया था। आज तो हम इस बात को समझते हैं कि ग्लेशियर्स पिघल रहे हैं, जल का स्तर बढ़ रहा है, इसकी वजह से शहर डूब रहे हैं, आसपास के एरियाज जो हैं वो डूब रहे हैं। लेकिन इतने हजार साल पहले तब तो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग जैसा इशू नहीं होगा, तो इसका डूबना क्या समझेंगे?
See, the natural disasters, one form is what we are calling it as, this global warming and, the environmental degradation and things like that. But apart from that, there is a thing called geological changes.
Okay.
The geological changes also contributed for some cities to perish, drown actually.
Okay.
So the Poombuhar city was destructed through a thing called a tsunami type of an event, which brought them, and then, the total city gone submerged into the, oceans.
लेकिन ऐसे और प्रोजेक्ट्स भी आपने किए हैं इससे पहले, और आगे भी ऐसे कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स होते रहेंगे, उन पर हम बात करेंगे एक छोटे से ब्रेक के बाद।
इंडिया साइंस एक इंटरनेट आधारित विज्ञान वेब चैनल है। ये चैनल भारत सरकार के विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग द्वारा शुरू किया गया है, जिसका कार्यान्वयन और प्रबंधन विज्ञान प्रसार कर रहा है। इंडिया साइंस www.indiascience.in URL पर उपलब्ध है। इस द्विभाषीय चैनल की विषय वस्तु हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में उपलब्ध है। इस चैनल को इंटरनेट की सुविधा वाले किसी भी उपकरण पर देखा जा सकता है। ये वीडियो प्लेटफॉर्म विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी के ज्ञान के प्रसार हेतु समर्पित है। विशेषकर भारतीय दृष्टिकोण, लोकाचार और सांस्कृतिक संदर्भ में वैज्ञानिक जागरूकता फैलाने के लिए दृढ़ प्रतिबद्ध है। ये पहल विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग द्वारा समर्थित है। इंडिया साइंस मोबाइल ऐप्स को गूगल प्ले स्टोर और एप्पल स्टोर से डाउनलोड किया जा सकता है।
ब्रेक के बाद आपका स्वागत है। हम बात कर रहे हैं डिजिटल रिक्रिएशन, एक शहर की, एक पूरे सिटी की। हमने अभी तक पुम्पुहार की बात की, लेकिन ऐसा ही एक प्रोजेक्ट और हमें याद आता है कुछ वर्ष पहले, द्वारका। उसको भी डिजिटली रिक्रिएट करने की कोशिश की गई थी, वो भी इस पूरे इनिशिएटिव का एक हिस्सा था। उसके बारे में हमें बताइए।
हाँ जी, as part of the Indian heritage and digital space, we have picked up to two sites.
Okay.
One, the Dwarka, the present, and the next one was, the Poombuhar. There are two independent teams working on these two sites. Dwarka is a very historically and mythologically very, nearer to most of the Indians.
Bilkul.
Okay, and it is referred as, the place where Lord Krishna was listening. Now, when you look at, the conditions between Poombuhar and Dwarka, Dwarka is a very relatively a type of a easiest way. Because number one, it is in the clear waters. And it is maybe around 20 to 30 feet, the depth, what we call it as Dwarkadesh. And again, Dwarka is also a migratory type of a city, in the sense it was there somewhere 120 kilometers, 130 kilometers beyond present day Dwarka, what we see.
Okay.
And because of the conditions of the ocean or geological destructions, the city started migrating towards the present day.
Okay.
Or migrating in the sense people migrated and constructed new cities. So we have to have a complete the holistic study, the entire stretch in the ocean beyond 120 kilometers, and present day what are the structures available below the water, and that is what the concentration of the present study.
Okay.
Again, IITs and most of the central universities are involved in this project,
Ji.
and ROVs are we are in National Institute of Oceanography, Goa is involved in Dwarka study. Similarly, National Institute of Ocean Technology is involved in what you call in the Pumbhar project.
Okay.
Both are comes under IHDS, Indian Digital Heritage and Digital Space.
Okay.
Okay. And what we have seen here is a lot of work has been done on Dwarka. Both the Marine Archaeology Division of ASI, Archaeological Survey of India, and some of the European universities also conducted.
Okay.
So those things gives us a rich information where to concentrate, how to go deeper into the water and collect information, and how to can digitally reconstruct.
द्वारका का जो कुछ भी आपने डिजिटली रिक्रिएट किया है, इसे आम आदमी मैं कैसे देख सकती हूँ कि क्या बना है अभी तक, कैसे बना हो, कैसा था द्वारका?
Here I would like to submit one small. These two projects, I mean, 6 महीने पहले शुरू किया हमने, and teams are just gearing up, and then data collection process is going on.
जी.
There are some ROVs already we are using in the water to collect the data.
Okay.
So the idea is once you have this data collected, and probably we have to digitally reconstruct whatever the monuments we get from that thing, then idea is to go for digital reconstruction and a 3D printing of miniature scale models.
Okay.
And we are augmenting with the history, the heritage, and the building, the structures, all those things through augmented reality. So that anyone who visits that particular 3D printed miniature model, then we augment all this information so that they will have a type of experience as if they are visiting the what do you call the monument.
Okay. So it will be a first-hand experience for the people. So do you see any tourism prospects also?
Huge tourism prospects, yes, we do expect. For example, what we have done in Hampi project, we printed 3 feet 3D models, augmented reality, all those things we incorporated. At present, it is going on, an exhibition going on in the National Museum in Janpath.
But so will it be called a new nexus between science and tourism?
We could not call it as a nexus, but it is a facilitation.
It is a
Science normally facilitates. For example, how science enter into the heritage, it is only type of a facilitation, how these two disciplines can come together. Similarly, in tourism, or relations with other countries also. Fundamentally, these heritage technologies could be a medium to connect with actually.
Okay. So कुछ ऐसे और एग्जांपल्स हमारे देश में अवेलेबल हैं? फर्स्ट और सेकंड प्रोजेक्ट ये है, आगे हम क्या करेंगे? कुछ और प्रोजेक्ट्स हमने कुछ और साइट्स आइडेंटिफाई की हुई हैं?
Actually, as part of this IHDS, we have created 5 monuments, nationally recognized monuments, like the Bauli at Ahmedabad, Rani Ka Vav, they call it as, which is a digital reconstruction. Taj Mahal we have connected, and the Konark Temple, the Sun Temple. So there are monuments we have created. Now the corresponding state governments also showing a lot of interest, and public also interested in those things. And another important aspect of these technologies is, if you go to any of the museums, some of the artifacts, some portion is missing. The hand is not there or a leg is not there. But originally, these are all created, with a certain rules and regulations. Now, with this technology, we can digitally reconstruct, those, artifacts, and 3D printing can be done, so that people can appreciate what it was earlier and what it is now. Those type of, the experiences also could be created.
Yes. और हम बहुत तकनीकी रूप से जो अभी इस वक्त हमारी एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं उनकी बात कर रहे हैं, उनमें से एक टेक्नोलॉजी जो इसमें यूज़ हो रही है वो है रिमोट सेंसिंग सैटेलाइट. तो ये क्या टेक्नोलॉजी है, कैसे काम करती है और इससे हमें क्या जानकारियाँ आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं?
Remote sensing is fundamentally a technology used, through the satellites. Okay, where non-invasively you capture the images, available on the ground actually.
Okay.
It be related to forest cover, or it could be related to the crops. But this is fundamentally a technology.
We understand that.
Now, how we can put it into the heritage is very interesting. Here we can use, what you call imaging spectroscopy, for example. And using that, we can estimate the characterization of the material on the ground, number one. Through that, we can identify the periphery of a monument buried in the, what you call, in the ground, actually. For example, GPRS, ground penetrating radar systems. Now, we need not dig any place to find out what it is. Without digging, through non-invasive technologies, through GPRS technology, we can identify what could be the possible monument available there. What is its characteristic, whether it is a metal or it's a stone. So those type of techniques are evolving now actually. And those are all connected to the what you call remote sensing, a field actually. Okay.
कुछ ऐसी मिस्ट्रीज भी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं जो कि इससे रिवील होंगी उस प्लेस को लेकर के, उस वक्त के समय को लेकर?
Yes, we do expect certain mysteries like, what all we are thinking is, as of now, our history is 3,500 years old, not beyond that. But the indications from Kumbhar and Dwarka pointing us, towards something like, it is a continuous civilization well beyond, 12,000 years. I am not sure of, as of now, because I don't have any evidence, scientific evidence, but indicators I am getting. Therefore, that is a type of,
completely different world.
Completely different world.
We can't even expect.
We cannot even expect. The continuous civilization beyond, 12,000 years, it's a
huge time frame. Very old. Very, very old.
Very, very old. And there's a continuous civilization, striving in this region.
Okay.
And the evidences are coming up now. And the science is helping in bringing those evidences.
जी, ये सारी बातचीत इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग थी कि हम इंतज़ार करेंगे कि जल्द से जल्द कुछ रिजल्ट्स आए और हमारे सामने कुछ तैयार होकर के आए जो हम देख सकें और उस जगह के बारे में जान सकें, समझ सकें। आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया स्टूडियो में आकर के हमें ये सारी जानकारियाँ देने के लिए।
थैंक यू।
आपको हमारा कार्यक्रम कैसा लगा? आप अपनी राय और सुझाव हमें नीचे दिए गए ईमेल आईडी पर भेज सकते हैं। तब तक के लिए हमें दे इजाज़त। नमस्कार।